Magic 89.9.
Today's best music, Magic 89.9. Well, hello and good evening, Metro Manila. A very warm welcome to all our Magic listeners. You're on Magic 89.9. You're tuned in to something brand new. And when I say brand new, I mean like this is something meaningful and something that just might change your lives or save a life, maybe. Hold on. Are we digging the music? Here we go. Jada, help me pick it out. She's still here. Just on the sidelines because I think she's done for the day. But thank you for keeping me company. And I don't know why I'm nervous. Maybe because I have big shoes to fill. But hey, that's natural. It's natural. And this is a brand new show, of course. This is the pilot episode of Healthline, your newest radio lifeline for expert medical advice, real talk about wellness and stories that matter. I'm Tina Ryan, your host. So over the next hour, we're going to dive deep into the world of health, hope, and healing. And every week, we're going to have, here on Healthline, we're going to have different doctors, health professionals, and advocates to discuss the issues that affect our bodies, minds, and community. So whether it's heart health, mental health, nutrition, fitness, or even debunking health myths, we've got you covered. Tonight, we're going to have heavy. Who uses that? Oh my gosh. Okay, bigatin yung guest natin, guys. But he's going to come on around 7-ish. Right now, he's just warming up because he came straight from, his office. Dr. Avenilo Aventura, the executive director of the Philippine Heart Center, like I said, is with me tonight. He's, like I said, warming up. If you have any questions, please. Yes, Enrix. Wow, new shows. Yes, thank you, Enrix, for the warm welcome. Anything heart-related, let us know. I'm sure the expert will have the best answer for you. Heartbreak, you can ask me.
Magic 89.9.
Okay, today's best music, Magic 89.9. Speaking of civil, we do have a couple of tickets to give away to listeners who will send in their questions. And right now, since he's a bit warmed up already, ladies and gentlemen, for the very first episode of Healthline, Dr. Avenilo Aventura is with me this evening. Hi, Doc June.
Hi, Tina.
Okay, Doc June. If you can come closer to the microphone. So, how was traffic coming here? First question.
It's a little heavy.
Heavy talaga,
coming here, but we're kind of used to it.
If you came from the heart center talaga, Doc.
Oh yes.
Okay, I have a tip. Pa-drop off ka sa driver mo sa MRT. And then you'll get here in 10 minutes
Really?
to Bonnie Station. Sunduin na kita next time, Doc.
Yeah, I could just stop at the Pioneer Station, right?
In
the Shaw
Pioneer
Station.
Ba? Bonnie's closer. Kasi parang the Magic Studio is in between, pero walang tricycle sa Shaw Boulevard. So you're gonna have to walk. Diba? Tricycle talaga. But anyway, Doc June, thank you so much for joining us tonight as we...
Thank you for inviting.
Oh my gosh. And I'm feeling this energy between me and Doc. This is going to be like maybe once a month. Good on. Anyway, for those of you just tuned in, this is the pilot episode of Healthline. Again, I am your host, Tina Ryan. Doc June will be joining us shortly. And again, we are giving away tickets to Sybil and John Robinson show happening this Friday. I'm already inviting Doc June because not only is he a fab heart doctor, he also spins on the side, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Magic 89.9.
Today's best music, Magic 89.9. Once again, welcome back to Healthline, your weekly prescription for better living, smarter choice, and a healthier you. Today's guest is a man who knows the heart inside and out. Literally, he is a world-class heart surgeon, a passionate educator, and now the executive director of the Philippine Heart Center. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Avenilo Aventura Jr. or Doc June. Hi, Doc June.
Hi, Tina.
Hi. Okay, Doc June. Okay, so, Doc June, I heard that you're... Okay, so now that you're the director, the senior, Doc Senior was the very first director of the Heart Center?
Oh, yes, that's right. That was back in 1975. He was appointed as the first executive director of the Philippine Heart Center.
Oh my goodness! So wow, how proud must you be right now that you're representing the family again?
Well, he's still here. He's still living with my sister now, and he's in fact doing well, except that he has some problems with some dementia and all. But everything's pretty good with him and his health.
Did you want to be a heart doctor, like off the bat? Or growing up, growing up and seeing your dad go to work, already talagang heart doctor na yung gusto mo maging specialty.
Well, of course, I was exposed to heart being a doctor because I often go to the hospital with him during his rounds and especially
Nung
on
pwede pa,
weekends.
no?
Yes,
Pwede. Those were the days where people smoking pa in the hospitals then.
well, I didn't see any, but
But back in the 70s, I think they used to do
did.
that.
Well, it's not. You're not supposed to, but somehow these people. They just snuck out and did all these crazy things. I don't know.
I have a funny story to tell you about my mom, but that has to be off air because she's going to kill me. So, Doc June, I heard you're also the head of the cardiac transplant program here in the country.
All right, now, yeah, we're trying to build the heart transplant program at the Philippine Heart Center.
Which we will discuss in a bit.
Okay.
Wow. If you have any questions, please send them via playback.tv/magic899. Or we can try the phone line, but for some reason, I don't I keep missing it. But it's 863108999 if you have any questions. Heart-related questions for Doc June. He's with us for another hour. Doc, ano bang mas dangerous? Heart cholesterol or heartbreak?
More
Ganun
heartbreaking.
talaga. Trabaho ba kayo ng heartbroken na, Doc?
Oh, well, of course, you have
Or
to deal
in
with that.
school siguro, no, Doc?
Maybe, it's hard to say right now.
Doc, for my first question, hold on. Seriously, Doc, ito na promise, ha? I know a lot of our listeners deal with stress daily from traffic alone
Yeah.
to bills. I feel like sometimes, Doc, yung traffic sa sobrang bigat, sumisikip yung dibdib ko kasi mainit talaga yung ulo ko, Doc. How much does stress daily really affect heart health?
Oh, it's a lot. You have to control your stress because stress can actually bring out or take hormones out your system and then cause a lot of problems, especially cardiovascular. It increases the risk of cardiovascular disease. Hormones like adrenaline and cortisol and stuff like that. They actually harm your vessels or your heart.
Cortisol, Doc, is yun yung parang naglalagay ng taba sa mga katawan, sa parte ng katawan natin na hindi dapat mapunta. Tama ba yun?
Maybe indirectly.
Ayun,
But,
indirectly.
but causes it's just like a stress hormone.
Okay, cortisol
so-
is, you guys, cortisol is a stress hormone. Okay, lumalabas pag hindi natin nakokontrol.
You have to control your stress.
Okay.
Because it's like a silent killer. You have to have a relaxed atmosphere all the time. Because if you put stress always in your, if you have chronic stress, of course, that's not a good thing to have.
Okay, so speaking of controlling the stress, have you mastered controlling your stress? I mean, diba?
Well-
or like, can you give us tips? Because I still have a problem managing my stress.
Well, first of all, you have to have good sleep habits.
I was about to ask, Doc, that was my second question. How true that lack of sleep can increase now your risk of heart problems?
Yeah, if you have lack of sleep, you have stress, definitely. Even if some things like trying to wake up early and then really early, and then you feel like you have to sleep again. So what you do is you try to sleep earlier rather than wake up early and you feel not good. That's a kind of form of stress.
Ito tama ka, Doc June, since you mentioned, hindi nga tayo nakakatulog dahil may bumabagabag. So, yun na part ng stress yun.
Yeah.
So, kung napuyat ka, ibig sabihin the next day, itutulog mo na lang ng maaga.
Mas magandang ganun. But we live in a city or on a time of that's pretty stressful. Especially there's a lot of demand for in work and time. So everybody has their form of stress, and you just have to try to be more relaxed and take the stress out of it.
What's your go-to stress reliever? Like say, ma-stress ka nasa heart center ka, tapos nasa-stress ka, Doc. What's the first thing you do? Share, kindly share, Doc. Baka may matutunan, baka pwede namin gayahin, Doc.
Well, first of all, if you don't have time, you just do deep breathing exercises.
Deep breathing.
Yeah, deep breathing.
Parang huza, ganon.
Yeah, and relax and just if you need to sit down, you sit down. Well, my job is there's a lot of stress in of course.
Yeah.
And you have to really try to relax, especially when I go to my ORs. I spend my ORs like I start really early in the morning.
Yeah.
And I try to relax before that, because if you're stressed and you do procedure,
Yeah.
A difficult procedure, it's gonna stress you out. And usually, I'm not the type of guy who gets angry in the operating room. I just keep my cool. And those are the stuff I kind of do to relax.
Let's go to the food and lifestyle of Filipinos, Doc, because we love salty food. I love tuyo. Instant
wow.
noodles. Oh my gosh, my mom gets upset because yung bagoong, Doc, kung kainin ko, wagas. Like,
wow.
wala pang ulam yun, Doc. Kalamansi lang ang katapat. And then that's it. My mom would just take away the rice cooker. How can we enjoy these types of food without hurting our heart?
Oh, well, one of the factors that can cause hypertension is a lot of salt intake. So
Tina left the group na, Doc. Bye.
No, but it's true. If you have a lot of salt in your body, you tend to drink more, and the fluid stays in your system longer. Doesn't go out easily with a lot of salt, because you kind of have to dilute the salt. So
Kaya tayo uhaw na uhaw kasi maalat.
Yes,
Ganon.
yes.
Tapos, Doc, it doesn't mean na kahit isang galong tubig na inumin natin, mapa-flash out natin right away. No.
Not right away. So this, because of the amount of fluid that you have in your body because of the salt, it causes a problem with your heart, because your heart has to pump more fluid and more pressure because of that.
So, mas nahihirapan yung puso natin.
Yes.
Oh,
Actually, if you eat a lot, for example, you have borderline heart function, and then you eat a lot of salty food, then you drink a lot more, your blood your volume would increase, and this causes certain problems like maybe a heart attack and stuff. Yeah.
Attack agad.
Well,
oh my gosh.
It could be, but chronically you have that. It could lead to a problem with your vessels, especially the coronary vessels inside your heart.
Then what's your take on popular diets nowadays? May keto, intermittent fasting. Are they heart friendly? Like, are you on a certain diet, or you seafood diet ka, Doc?
I just well, if it's you just go on a moderate diet. Of course, you eat more non-processed food, for example.
Delata.
Fruits. No, delata.
Yun nga, bawal nga, delata. So, bawal yan, mga ganyan.
Delata has a lot of salt.
Yeah.
So, it's like you're eating a lot of salt, and you have...
bawal. Stay away from delata, you guys. You know better.
Yeah, that's right. Even snacks, and there's a lot of sodium there.
Yeah, but oh my gosh, there's this particular chips na local. Naku, Doc, as in, ang mahal niya pag nasa ibang bansa ka. Pero talaga maalat at masarap. Jack. Okay, so Christian says, hi, good evening, Doc Avelino. Again, thank you to Enrix and Zoms. And again, we're on playback /Magic899. For those of you just tuned in, this is the newest show here on the Magic Healthline. We're going to be featuring different types of doctors, all about how to make all of you healthy. Now, Doc, how about going back to the popular keto or intermittent fasting, which do you recommend? Both, or
two schools of thought, especially with keto. Yeah, you could actually lose weight with keto, because you'll have less carbs and all. But it could actually be a problem as well because well, of course you can have lesser you can have more LDL or low density which is like fat. So basically you can have more fat because of that, and that's not good for you. Some studies have shown that if you have less fat or decrease in your protein LDLs, it should be good.
Okay.
Better for your heart.
Okay. Have you, do you remember one time naging controversial doc si J-Lo because she claimed she did like this no sugar diet to achieve that. Oh my gosh, her body at 50 when she did, what was that movie, guys? I forget. But a few years back, do you think that is a good way to lose weight? And is that even good for the heart? Talagang completely no sugar.
Completely no sugar might not be a good idea because you definitely need some sugar, especially to run all these processes inside your body.
But what's a healthy sugar ba, Doc? May healthy sugar ba?
Low sugar, of course.
Okay, give me a sample of low sugar. Fruits.
Of course, fruits, but you have sugar as well with that. But generally, if it's not processed, should be good.
Okay.
Because some people actually have tendencies, like hereditary tendencies, to have more fat and more blood with sugar. So sometimes, if you're like 35 and above, and you're okay with your diet, sometimes it's okay. But
yung ba yung preg mo, Doc? 35 and above?
more or less, that's more or less the age that people have problems.
Started to have medical conditions, ganon.
Yes,
35 and above, you guys. Okay.
Not necessarily 35 and above, but that's the more common age. Yeah.
Doc, for people who don't have time to go to the gym, what are simple ways they can, I don't know, maybe can keep their hearts strong if there's such a thing?
Well, eating healthy is one, and of course you have time for exercise. Maybe walking, just walking, maybe 20 minutes a day should be good as well.
Sino ba yung nagsabi, Doc? Parang 5,000 footsteps ba? Tama po?
More or less.
Or ganon? Or 10,000 ba, Doc?
Basta marami, mas maganda.
Basta yung dapat daw mo feel mo yung heart mo na medyo tama ba yun? Tumitibok?
To increase your heart rate.
So parang pag nakikita ko lang si Crush ganon, dapat yung increase ng heart rate ko, Doc.
Yeah. Normally, I would say the maximum heart rate we could have is actually 220 minus your age. So that older you
Wait,
get,
I'm sorry, Doc. 220 minus
your age. This is just more or less.
Okay.
So it means that if you're older, you should have less heart rate. Maximum heart. That's the maximum it can go.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so basically, that's just to just a sort of like a guide, but not necessarily you have to do that. So especially if you have a problem with your heart, you should be much lower.
So pwedeng mga walking around the neighborhood for 30 minutes, pwede na yun, Doc?
Yeah.
Like, pwede nang sabihin safe na, nakapag-exercise ako, 30 minutes. Ganun.
Yeah, that should be okay. Just as long as there's some activity. But you have to sort of like monitor your heart rate that doesn't go up too much. Because if you have a very high heart rate, that's your output, your cardiac output, might be too high, might be going low already because of the time that the heart pumps. It pumps less. And unlike if you have a good heart rate, like lower heart rate, sometimes it pumps pretty good.
Doc, have you ever looked at somebody just like by looking and you can tell already na parang, parang may...
You have a problem with the heart?
Oo.
Well, yeah, you could say that because, of course, if a patient is actually breathing hard, of course, you might see that, you might have a problem. Or maybe he just did a little exercise and stuff. But Generally, if he's not doing anything and then he has a difficulty breathing, then it could be
It's a sign. It's a
it could
bad
be a
sign.
yes.
Okay.
Especially if usually lean individuals don't have not much of a problem, but they can also. But for example, you're heavy set and then you're puffing and huffing, puffing, and then you kind of think that there might be a problem with the heart. Usually, if you're like young, don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
But you're kind of older, that's what, how you see.
Okay, and I don't remember I've ever had. Have I had a heart checkup? Now I'm thinking.
No, but
No, doc. Just because I'm skinny, but that's a purpose of this show, doc. Kailangan ko ng panindigan because I'm hosting a health show. Yes, people think, oh, you're skinny, wala kang problem. No, I want to be strong and healthy. The weight is not so much of my problem, but I feel like inside my body's not functioning properly. In fact, I had to tell Doc earlier, Doc, I'm going to do my interview with you standing up. I don't want to be rude, but I cannot sit down because I have a spondylolisthesis.
Yeah. But that's not a problem with the heart.
Oh, malayo naman sa
It's
puso.
the bone problem.
The bone problem. So, I need to take a quick break, and I know Doc's phone is blowing up because a lot of his friends are tuned in as well. Doc, we'll say hi to them one by one after the break.
Magic 89.9.
Doc, June does not recommend because it's bad for the heart. Welcome back to Healthline. I'm Tina Ryan, and with me is the executive director of the Philippine Heart Center, Doc June. Be honest, do you ever sneak in lechon at parties? Yun totoo, Doc. Okay, talaga. Kumakain ka
I can't
na.
lie, but of course you have to.
We're Pinoys eh.
Yeah, if ever you have to eat just a little of those things because it's bad for the health and stuff.
What do you prefer though? The taba or the laman? I mean the balat.
Oh, the balat, of course, because it's tasty. But you have to eat in moderation.
Everything in moderation.
Yeah, everything in moderation. You have to also, because I kind of mix it up with some other stuff that that's a little tasty.
Okay.
But you have to keep in mind that these food, of course, is not perfect, and you have to be
Would you say
choosy
talaga
on-
Doc? Parang Pinoy food, parang walang.
It's very salty.
Okay, very salty.
Pinoy food is very salty. And,
Okay.
and if you have a lot of salt in your body, that causes a lot of, your hypertension. So you just have to try to eat in moderation.
Doc, if you were to choose one unhealthy Filipino dish to make heart friendly, which one would it be?
Heart friendly?
Oh, kunyari, ano bang maalat na pagkain? Na, alam
There's
nating
a
masama.
lot. There's a lot.
Oh, pili ka na isa, Doc, tapos gagawin mong heart friendly. Anong ulam yun?
So, one of my favorites? Lechon.
Lechon! Hi, Cass. Good evening, DJ Tina and Doc June. Good evening to you as well. And Cass, we'll see you on Friday for the Sybil and John Robinson concert. Do your family and friends ever get paranoid and ask you to check their pulse at dinner?
Well, yes. When I was a kid, my dad used to. When I was in grade school, actually, my dad taught me how to do how to check your blood pressure. I check his blood pressure every morning and every evening.
With the
the
what do you call
blood
that?
pressure apparatus.
That thing. Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I kind of know how to do that.
But just by feeling yung pulso, Doc, is that even like, totoo ba yun?
Well,
Hindi
it's
kaya
pretty
ba?
difficult to
Or here, yung dito, ano ba tawag dyan, Doc? Yung...
your carotid pulse.
Yan,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, if your pulse is like bounding, then it's probably you have some hypertension there. So if you do if you check your heart rate, of course a lower heart rate should be better. Except it shouldn't be so low that it's not good. You have some problems with perfusion or supply of blood to to everything.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do your heart rate, it's better that it's low because there's better cardiac output, except not too low.
Ayan na. Speaking of heart rate, 57
Well, normal
over
is,
60. Ano yun, Doc? 57 over 60 plus? Tama ba yan? At rest, is it normal?
57, probably not.
Okay. So what is the normal?
Well, if you
Like a figure. Give me like a safe figure or like a normal figure.
it's 120 over 80. That's probably the most in between of all blood pressures.
57, Doc. May pulso pa ba ito? Hoy, Cass, magpatik.
Well, 57 maybe a little.
57 to 60
Maybe that's the heart rate.
heart rate.
Not the heart blood
okay,
pressure.
not the okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So heart rate should be okay. Depends on when if that's with exercise already. So why is it too low? If you could be an athlete with that type of heart rate.
Matindi yung next question, Doc.
Yes.
Is kilig daw good cardio?
Is a what?
Yung kinikilig ka daw, good cardio daw pa yun. Ano bang marirecommend mong cardio, Doc? Bukod sa, okay, walking in the neighborhood, biking.
Yeah, it depends on, of course, the age and your risks. Because if you have a heart disease and you have other problems, you cannot just do a marathon and all of that. It has to be tapered in what you can do. You can actually, even just brisk walking is okay. So it depends on you can increase your heart rate, but not too much, because if you have a very very high heart rate, that means your cardiac output might not be good.
Okay.
Especially if it's too high.
Okay.
So usually you just have to, as I was saying a while ago, your heart rate shouldn't be like basically like 220 minus your age.
Okay.
That's the maximum that you can actually go.
Okay.
If you're okay, but if you have a heart problem, you should be very try to go lower than that,
Okay.
because that's the maximum you can go.
Okay. Now, for those of you who don't know, Doc June also loves music. And if I may, Doc June, can I say that you spin on the side is my biggest frustration.
Oh, yeah.
So Doc June and I obviously have this common thing when it comes to music. And I know heart surgeries, they're very long. Do you have a playlist in the OR?
Well, it depends on the mood.
Oh,
Yeah, sometimes I
okay.
just go on Spotify and then whatever. Usually I like chill house music and
Chill
blues
house.
music.
Okay, you guys, chill house music, Doc June here. Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah. But
and what else?
But my go-to is usually the 80s music.
There you go. High five. Friday Madness lover right here, Doc June.
that's
What was your longest heart surgery? Like time-wise? Like
Maybe more than 24 hours.
Holy
so, of course, there's complications and all, but it's pretty difficult and very tiring.
Okay.
tedious.
And since you started, Doc, how many is it called open heart
yeah.
surgeries have you performed?
Well, I can't.
You can't count anymore. Oh my!
In a week, like last week, I had like per day, 1 or 2 a day.
Holy wow! Okay, and Doc, I know people are probably gonna find this stupid, but I feel like this is a legit question. What's your go-to snack pag alam mong mahaba yung operation mo?
Go-to snack?
Yeah.
I eat whatever's in the OR, but you have to eat with moderation, especially if you have heart disease. You have to eat little, because I eat hospital food there.
So parang lahat naman ng hospital food we need
Should
to
be okay, but you still have to eat wisely, or because you can't just eat anything that's there.
For those of you who just tuned in, this is the the pilot episode of Healthline. your go-to show for anything health related. Again, Doc June is with us. He is Oh my gosh, I have a funny question. He is the executive director over at the Philippine Heart Center. Michiko, is sex really cardio daw, Doc?
It is actually.
From Michiko. Pero like, meron bang certain minute, like amount, a number of minutes before you can even consider it a cardio?
Well, as I was saying, your heart rate shouldn't be go above the maximum, and especially because if you have coronary disease, if you have like high blood pressure and chest pain and stuff like that, you cannot increase your heart rate too much because that means your heart can't pump that well when it's pumping too fast.
Okay. I like Michiko's question. Maybe we should give Michiko the pair of tickets to Sybil. No. Michiko,
Yeah,
hang on tight. I'll get your details, okay? Family and prevention, Doc June. If heart disease runs in my family, am I guaranteed to get it too?
Well, most probably because there's for example, if it's heart disease that's coronary, some people are more prone to coronary disease. Well, if you're diabetic, you can also have a family member that's diabetic as well. And if you have hypertension, most probably your family would also have hypertension, or your son or daughter would have hypertension.
Let me stop you right there, Doc. You said coronary. How many types of heart diseases are there? Po
Oh,
ba?
there's a lot. There's congenital, there's coronaries, there's valvular, there's so many heart disease. But the most
Yung
common,
pinakagrabe, Doc. Ano?
hindi naman pinakagrabe because a lot of heart problems are actually grabe. But
Heartache
most
daw. Ito na
probably
naman
that's
tayo.
the most common. That's
Yan,
right. No, I was saying maybe maybe a coronary disease would probably be most common because right now it's the number one killer in
Coronary.
coronary, yeah.
Okay.
So basically, it's from hereditary, number one. Number two, it could be eating a lot of these high cholesterol, high fat, high sodium, high sugar. All of these contribute to coronary problem.
Okay, so let's go back to the diet again, Doc. When you say high, what you said high in cholesterol.
Yeah.
Let's be specific.
High LDL or low density lipoprotein diet. So you can see that like in fats, like in like the lechon, stuff like that.
Okay.
There are good cholesterol, which is called HDL cholesterol.
And okay, let's be specific. What are these good cholesterols that we can consume?
It comes from fish and stuff like that.
Okay. So we're talking omega-3s here.
Yes,
okay.
omega-3 and stuff. So basically, you have to eat with the fats that's good for you, because only the HDL that's the one that brings fat away from the body. Unlike all the other fats, VLDL and LDL, they actually keep the fats inside the body.
Now, Doc, at what age should we start getting our blood pressure and cholesterol checked? Because I don't remember.
Well,
Okay.
some AHA, I think AHA has when you're a kid, you could have your cholesterol taken like maybe 9 or 11 or something like that, just to check.
Just to check.
Maybe there's familial type of cholesterol problems, and then again at maybe 19 to maybe 21 or so, just to check again. But generally, a lot of problems occur when they're about 35 above. So basically, that's when you really start checking everything.
The body ages, you guys. It is science, diba? So again, the baseline would be 35. Start getting
More or
checked.
less, yeah.
Diba?
But some as a kid, sometimes they do that as well, but not everyone.
Again, if you just tuned in, this is Healthline. This is our first episode. We have Dr. June. He is the executive director at the Philippine Heart Center. Have you recently heard Chris Brown nakakulong sa London? Hindi na manage yung stress niya, Doc.
I think that was because he was in a club or something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
I think I read
It was
about it.
unprovoked. And speaking of Chris Brown, here he is. Bow Wow featuring Chris Brown on today's best music called Use Me. This is Healthline. If you have any questions, Doc June of the Philippine Heart Center is with us tonight. So send them in, 863-10899 or via playback.
Magic 89.9.
Health related. My name is Tina Ryan, your host. With me is the executive director lang naman, guys, of the Philippine Heart Center, Doc June. Seatmate from Eunice. Baka ikaw to, Doc June. May seatmate ka bang Eunice pangalan?
Ano ba yan?
Seryoso, friend mo?
Kaibigan ko si Eunice. She's a head and neck doctor, ENT.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
One of the best, actually.
Really?
I think she's like the president of tama ba?
Okay, let's Miss Doc Eunice.
Yeah.
Doc Eunice. Oh, dali, yabang na natin. Ano daw? No, nasabi niya no
diba?
daw
Okay.
eh.
All right.
The Sarge wants to ask, teka lang, ayan na, the questions are coming in via playback.tv/magic899. I'm not having much luck with a phone. I'm so sorry, you guys. At 50, anong test dapat pong gawin? Paggawa.
50? Oh, well, probably a colonoscopy. With heart related, you could do a standard ECG, X-ray, and of course maybe a stress test just to see if there's coronary problems and so.
Okay, there you go, Sarge. Good evening from Jing. They say energy drink is bad. Okay, how do I... Hold on, let me just... Direct, hindi ko makita yung full... Hold on. I can't seem to move the cursor. Okay, I'm gonna try to make some sense. Okay, they say energy drink is bad. So, oh my gosh. Or buy oral rehydration salts or hydrate powder just for emergency. Or are there any drinks or meds that we can take? Doc, did that make sense?
Better if it's in moderation because you can have a lot of salt with some energy drinks, and of course there's a lot of sugar as well. So it could possibly derange all your labs or your sugar, your hydration, because but it's actually more or less they have these drinks as sort of like blood, your blood. It's more or less the same electrolyte component content and all, but it can have a lot of sub problems as well. So especially with the sugar, if it's high in sugar because it's an energy drink, you might have more or be hyperglycemic after when you take a lot.
Okay, there you go. Manda Lorian, what are your thoughts using patient-specific 3D printed models for pre-surgery planning?
Yeah, that's heavy. That's heavy.
Has the Heart Center ever explored this?
Yeah, actually, I just came. We had some training in heart transplantation at Vanderbilt in Tennessee.
Where you just came from?
Yeah, we came from there last month, and we were able to see some of the 3D printing that they do. Of course, it's good to have something like that, especially if you're going to have heart surgery and all. But it's more for to explain what the problem is and how to actually handle that surgically. So that's to see how you're gonna if the surgeon's going to take a look at it. It's how you're going to access that, for example, tumor or whatever you need to operate on in this certain area. So 3D printing is actually could be available. It's easy to get. But of course, it has certain limitations as well. But it's actually a good how you explain to the patient or how you tackle this problem inside the operating room.
Awesome. Okay, I have a very special person tuned in. Special talaga. Sir Greg Banzon of Century Pacific Foods tuned in. Hi, Greg. Eunice, your seatmate said board member lang daw siya.
Oh, well.
Ano ulit na siya? ENT?
Well, she's one of the stalwarts of ENT in the Philippines.
Nice. Hi, Doc Eunice. Nako. Maybe DJs like us who have, diba? This is our bread and butter.
Yeah.
The Sarjo, Doc Jun will refer us to Doc Eunice as our ENT hero. Maybe we can have your seatmate here on Healthline, Doc Eunice.
one of these days.
Yes,
and
one
talk.
Wednesday, Doc Eunice, paunlakan niyo po kami. Jing says, I stopped buying energy drinks because it's something that you don't recommend anyway.
Well, of course, if you need, for example, you've lost a lot of sweat, you've done exercise, and you sometimes need to have you have to rehydrate, and of course the content some is like near blood. So if you like drink water, you just have to what's this? Sometimes it just washes out or goes away through your urine. But this is more like blood, so sometimes it stays in your body for your intravascular volume. It's a little.
Parang okay, nalunod ako doon, Doc, ng konti.
But it means
break it down to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
When you drink this type of fluid, it actually is sort of like stays in your body more, rather than sometimes when you drink just water, it just goes out through your urine. So it depends on when you need it and when you have to drink it. Understand?
Okay.
It's not as simple as you're
Akala ko yung
thirsty.
iinom ko lang tas ilalabas ko na. Hindi ganun pala yun.
Yeah.
No,
For
Doc?
example,
Okay.
you have some diarrhea. You lose a lot of electrolytes and a lot of fluid. So what you drink is sort of like something that's the same. So you drink Hydrate or some maybe Gatorade or something. So that could actually replace whatever losses that you have. Sometimes if you drink water, you could just pee it out. So it depends on when you need it and what you need it for. But for example, you just drink a lot of it, then you could have hyperglycemia and because of the sugar content.
Yeah, so it's like diabetics can't just take it, diba, Doc? Parang...
Well, you have to take it with a grain of sort of like take it with a grain of salt.
Okay, speaking of salt, you've heard of, is that Celtic salt? Have you heard of that, Doc?
Well, sort of. Yes.
And parang, okay, Peep, there's this wellness doctor, Dr. Barbara Walters. No.
Well, Barbara Walters is a what's this? Anchor.
Yung Barbara O'Neill. Barbara Walters. Barbara O'Neill.
I haven't.
She's a wellness doctor, if I'm not mistaken. Barbara O'Neill. I believe that's a name. She recommends Celtic salt parang every day. And then there's this other doctor that says, mataas daw yung whatever, like
Sodium.
metals content of
bicarb or
parang ganon.
Yeah,
well, personally, do you think Celtic salt is
I'm not really familiar with Celtic salt, but
Okay.
if it's salt, then it's the same as sodium. You're high on sodium. So if you take a lot of sodium, then you imbibe more water, and you have to drink a lot of water to make your your salt content normal.
okay?
Okay, so that's the way it works.
And of course, you're the expert at heart. What are the signs of a heart attack, Doc, from Paulette?
Well, simple as nothing, or chest pain, because mostly chest pain and difficulty breathing. Even if you walk, you have easy fatigability, like some slow, but some very acute.
Okay.
So it has a lot. Even gastrointestinal pain, you can have that, or you can have even just in your arm pain.
Oh my
left
gosh,
arm pain,
related
stuff
to heart. Oh,
but
scary. Okay.
you can't just say that it's heart related. Sometimes it depends on what kind of pain.
Wait, Doc, so you're saying pag may heart attack, hindi like related agad sa heart. It could
be something else.
Yeah,
It could be muscle pain.
Oh my
Could be,
gosh. Okay. So, but it has to be excruciating type of
some would, but if you're diabetic and you have problems with your nerves, sometimes you don't feel anything. You have a heart attack already.
Yeah, Doc, like me, I mean, I have a very high tolerance for pain.
For pain, okay.
I didn't know I was already internally bleeding. Ectopic pregnancy na pala, nag-camping pa ako sa Yosemite Park, diba?
Oh, wow.
Paano ko na lang malalaman kami na
Yeah.
heart attack na ako?
Yeah, well, sometimes you can just feel it when you're, difficulty of breathing. That's
Is that like a sign na, okay, this could be a heart attack. I'm having a hard time breathing. And there's chest pain. Yon. So medyo alarming na yon.
Yeah, you have to probably go to the ER. You have to check what the problem is. Be sure and not sorry.
Okay. Jing, how to mend a broken heart? Jing naman si Tito Joe Demango ang tawagan mo dyan, okay?
Well, you have to mend your broken heart immediately because it could cause a lot of stress and cause a lot of maybe cause a heart attacks.
That's true. Ayan na, coming from Doc June. Doc June, I know you have some friends you want to say hi to because your phone keeps lighting up. Please say hi to them.
I want to say hi to all our staff and doctors and also patients in the Philippine Heart Center. Hope everything is okay.
Pwede na ba ako doon, Doc? Mag-walk in, mag-name drop ako. I'm a friend of Doc June. Joke lang, Doc.
Hindi ka pansinin. No.
Hello also to Miss Eloisa and Miss Paulette. Thank you for the kind words. Oh, no, they're not tuned in. Doc, anything else? You want to briefly discuss this program we were talking about off air about? Okay, this is super major because I was flabbergasted when Doc June told me that hindi common. Is that the proper word?
For what?
The transplant?
Oh, the transplants, yes.
Okay, can we discuss that briefly before we let you go?
Back in the 80s, 84 to 86, my father actually wanted to do the transplant. They were ready. They were just looking for the donor. No donor came, and because that was a problem. And back in 1995, I believe, I was an intern at in Makati Medical, actually. And Dr. George Garcia was able to do 3 heart transplants. But of course, these patients did not live long or not do well after because of certain logistics in the Philippines then. So it was kind of like abandoned for the last maybe 20, 30 years or so.
Oh, wow! Like talagang tinigil lang?
Yeah, because
is it okay?
We're like Filipinos. They don't want to. That's what everybody thinks, that nobody wants to donate their heart and stuff like that. Donors are the problem and all. But actually now we're actually getting donors. We've been trying to do multi-organ procurement.
Oh my gosh, procurement! Okay,
with
wow.
Kidneys and lungs and liver. And maybe corneas and all.
Meron pa ang value yung liver ko, Doc, kasi hindi ako malakas uminom. Yung heart ko pagod na. Wala na siyang value.
Ano naman.
Ayun, Doc. Pero like, wow, okay. So, if it's not so common, like, saan ba? Kunyari, Doc, kailangan ko ng heart transplant bukas na bukas. Who do I go
probably
to?
Yeah, well,
do I call you? Ganon?
You can go to the heart center and you have to be evaluated first. For example, a patient for heart transplant has to undergo a lot of stuff first. For example, they have to have vaccines. They have to be diagnosed to have the need for a heart transplant.
Okay.
So everything has to fall into place first before you get one.
But how, can you see just by looking at the heart? Like, kunyari, nag-open heart surgery ka, Doc, diba? Uy, healthy heart to. Kunyari...
Well, you don't operate on a healthy heart.
I mean, no, kunyari lang, Doc. I mean, no, that's not what I was trying to ask. But meaning, like, say, may sakuna. Ay, sakuna ba? Tama yon. May accident na nangyari. And then say, I wanna... kunyari me, I wanna donate my heart.
Oh, yeah.
Pagbukas mo, makikita mo ba agad, Doc? Kung, uy, pwede to Or parang, hindi to pwede.
That's what we do for procurement. We take a look at the heart. If the heart's okay, and we feel if the coronaries are okay, if there's no calcification, everything has to be evaluated before you get the heart. Because you just can't. That's where the problem lies. Right now, when we do procurement, we try to get hearts. No. Most of the hospitals that most of the patients or the donors or the donor patients actually are not good candidates anymore because they've had hypertension, they've have renal problems already, and so basically what we need to have these donors referred earlier than how they refer right now.
Okay.
So maybe this is a good place to say, a good venue to say.
There you go. This just
very
opened the
important,
door.
Yeah. So mostly, if you want to, we just actually there's a procurement. There's procurement people who actually go there and try to talk to the ones who are the relatives who, if, for example, there's a brain dead donor, supposed donor, they could actually talk to these the relatives.
Okay.
And then they decide if they want to have to get the organ. If we could have the organ or not.
Oh my gosh, Doc, I feel like, okay, so I stopped the bad vibes. I'm just thinking, so maybe I should get my, ECG? So I can tell if my heart's healthy. So I can be a donor. Ganon, diba?
Yeah, well, ECG, echo, you can have, if you can have, no. Actually, those stuff are assessed when there's a potential, you're a potential donor already, not when you're
healthy.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying though, Doc, like parang, okay, in the event that anything happens to me, I want to be a donor, diba?
Yeah,
I'm just letting you guys know.
In your driver's license, you can.
Yes, I think that's what I did put on my license. I have so many more questions, Doc. Parang 1 hour pala was not enough, which only means that there's a part 2, Doc.
Oh, sure. No
You
problem.
have to come back here again because messages also are just starting to come in. I also have messages from my personal friends. And then again, before we go, is there anybody else you want to thank or say hi to? No more?
Oh, I want to say hi to Emily, special friend.
A special friend. Well, Emily, is this Emily has your heart, but
She's my ex-girlfriend.
oh, hello, Emily. Si Kas kinikilig, oh. Doc, thank you so much. Doc June, the executive director for the Philippine Heart Center. There's going to have to be a part 2. Doc, thank you so much for the wonderful hour of learning. And we do hope to have you back.
Sure.
And I think already lined up is your ENT classmate. Diba?
Sure, Eunice, ha? Ikaw na sunod.
Sino ba yun, Doc?
Eunice.
Si Doc Eunice. Doc Eunice, we need your expertise because our bread and butter nakasalalay sa inyo.
I'll give you her number.
Yes, please. Ayan na, no backing down, no backing out. It is 8:04. Hang on tight. The boys will be here in an hour. Doc June, thank you so much once
Thank you
again
for
for joining
inviting.
us. Healthline will be back next week. Again, if you have anything you want to talk about, just let us know. The Magic Socials, where it's always open for your comments, your violent reactions, whatever. Okay, you guys be good. Have a happy Wednesday.
Magic 89.9.